Picture this. You go to the movies expecting one thing and you get something utterly different, and wonderfully so. Dust Bunny, written and directed by Bryan Fuller, is one of those films that surprises you in the best way. It took me back to what it felt like to be a kid without having any doubt that there was a monster living under my bed and that no adult in my life would ever believe me. That childhood certainty is the heart of this charming and funny and even a little bit scary movie experience. And when I read the description of this film, when I saw it listed at my local theater, I kind of pitched it as kind of a horror story for kids. And after watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, I just left the theater feeling sick to my stomach. So I broke my own rule and decided to see one more film this weekend because I needed something else after that film. So the question was simple. Could Dust Bunny save my weekend theater experience or not? The short answer is yes, absolutely. And I want to get into why I think it's really important to share this film and why I thought it was so good. And please remember to give this review a thumbs up and to help boost the YouTube algorithm to give this original film just a little more shine out there in the world. So, Dust Bunny, it tells the story of a young girl named Aurora, an orphan living in a bustling city that feels a whole lot like New York or the Chinatown section of New York, but it never quite names the city. There are clear Chinese artistic influences in the production design and in the overall aesthetic, which are just gorgeous. And they become part of the film's storybook atmosphere. Aurora is convinced that there is a monster that's living under her bed and that it's real, and she desperately wants the grown-ups to take it seriously. When her foster parents get eaten by this creature, she takes matters into her own hands, seeking out the one person she thinks can help her, her next door neighbor, who just happens to be a professional hitman. From there, the story unfolds in ways that are both surprising and delightful as her neighbor gets pulled into this tale of missing parents and monsters. Dust Bunny is a movie that really wants to entertain you. It wants to scare you, but in playful ways, which definitely aligned with my expectations of it being a horror for kids. But it was so much more than that. The balance that Dust Bunny strikes between delightful whimsy and genuine tension was so nicely done. And Bryan Fuller, he pulls off even the most predictable bits in ways that felt both bold and surprisingly fresh. And I know that I mentioned the Chinese architecture and design aesthetic earlier, but the design goes even further. It pulls in these bright primary colors, these striking set pieces, and then it crunches all of that into these confined spaces in the film that make the world feel small and tangible with this dreamlike air to it. It's as if the drab, ordinary world just has been dialed up a bit, giving it just a little extra shine that comes with a sense of childlike wonder so that we see the world through Aurora's eyes. The result is the creation of a sweet uncertainty that we wonder what's real and what might be imagined here, especially as the story blurs the lines between Aurora's view of her monster and the hitman's gritty worldview. The cast performances in Dust Bunny are a major reason that this film actually works so well. Sophie Sloan as Aurora is simply wonderful. She's smart and funny. She's clever, and she brings this mix of imagination and logic to the story that pulls us into the magic of her cinematic adventure. She doesn't act outside the bounds of what a curious and determined 10-year-old might do when confronted with something terrifying that's living under her bed. And she finds an out of the box solution on how to handle it. Mads Mikkelsen plays the intriguing neighbor and the hitman that Aurora hires to help her with the problem. He's prickly and dryly funny, and beneath his tough exterior, he's got this sensitive heart that makes him just kind of want to help this hot little girl with her monster problem. There's great chemistry between the two of them, making their strange partnership believable and endearing. Sigourney Weaver was the surprise that I was not expecting. She played Laverne, the hitman's boss. She's polished and funny and sharp. This is one of those parts that you can tell she just loved doing. And she brought her A-list A game to this film. She didn't just dial it in. She sold the dark underbelly of the story in a way that really would have been missing without her. David Dashmalachian, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Dastmalchian, plays another hitman whose quiet professionalism brings an edge to the film that casts him as the straight man, which gives the unexpected terror and undercurrent of humor that lands so well. Rounding out the cast is Sheila Atim, who plays the social worker with this over stylized flair that just works perfectly in this darkly whimsical world of monsters and hitmen. Visually, Dust Bunny felt like a comic book come to life with its exaggerated art direction, vibrant colors, and expressive settings. There's a level of theatricality in the design that really pushes beyond what you usually see in dark fantasy films. From the indoor world of Aurora's apartment building, with its wild wallpaper, gorgeous golden grillwork on the elevator and stairwells, to the costume design and the use of shadow play on the walls, it all contributes to a unique, fantastical look that adds to the story, heightening the experience through design. The contrast between bright daytime sequences and nighttime tension creates a playful yet nerve wracking energy with this kind of eerie edge to it, despite the vibrant color palette. That contrast, it underscores how Dust Bunny really balances the genres from horror to drama, fantasy, and comedy, all in a way that looks surprisingly seamless. But it's actually really tough to get right. There's so much in this film that works. I was literally smiling through the film, except in those moments when I was laughing. There's so much that Dust Bunny gets right that I didn't even mind the overused monster under the bed trope, the convenience of that hitman living next door, or the tried and true child on a quest narrative. These are all things that we have seen before and in other forms. But Bryan Fuller really shows how his years of honing story in episodic TV storytelling has really given him the chops to pull off a signature style film that's tight and seamless. And he put in the time. And Dust Bunny's ability to turn a somewhat predictable structure into an exciting series of small monsterly bumps in the night and creating this just delightful ride was exceptionally well done. Is Dust Bunny ticket worthy? I mean, honestly, if you've gotten this far, you know the answer is yes, because I clearly loved this movie. I know that it doesn't seem like a very critical review of this film, but you know what? I do these movie reviews to talk about movies that I love and movies that I really enjoy. When I come across a movie like Dust Bunny, which I think is honestly my favorite children's movie of the year, I don't want to talk about all of the little details that didn't work and make it sound like, an overly critical, highbrow review. I want to talk about a movie that made me feel something that I enjoyed and that I just loved watching, and I want to help spread the word. So here's the thing. I would actually pay. Yes, I would actually pay again to see this movie. This is the kind of cinematic story that deserves to be seen on the screen, where the magic, it just shines through and it makes it shine just a little bit brighter than what you might get on a TV. It's fun and it's surprising, it's heartfelt. Honestly, it's straight up entertaining. This is one of those films that is perfectly positioned for everyone because it speaks to our own childhood experiences. It gives us something to relate to, no matter what age we are. It's a great choice for kids and teens, as well as family and friends. Or if you're like me, it's a great movie to go on a solo trip to a theater because there is literally something here for everyone. It even has some fun or one fun mid-credit scene that kind of ties up a couple of loose ends that I think you'll enjoy. Dust Bunny is one of those rare original films that reminds you that original films are incredibly important to the future of storytelling and cinema. And it actually does something really cool with its technology. And I didn't put too much of this in this review, but this movie does a wonderful job of taking its practical effects and blending them with the CGI and AI assisted tech in order to kind of pull things together seamlessly so you don't really see those lines between the real world and the FX world, if you will. It's a fresh take on childhood fear and bravery and even imagination. I walked into that theater feeling just a little bit depressed and annoyed, and I left feeling lighter and brighter and happier. I loved Dust Bunny without reservation, despite any of its little flaws. This movie deserves more attention than it is getting. It deserves full theaters and it deserves to be talked about despite its tiny independent filmmaking budget. It needs help getting discovered because we need more films like this in the theater. So please do give this film a thumbs up. Hype it if you are on your mobile device. Share this review and leave a comment. These are all the best ways to get the attention of the YouTube algorithm. And no, I'm not getting paid to hype this film or promote it in any way. I paid for my own ticket. I just love this movie. It's why I do movie reviews. It's why I like going to movies. And it reminded me of what it felt like to be a kid who believed in monsters and how to conquer them. All right, that's it from me. Did you see Dust Bunny? What did you think of this film? What's your favorite childhood film? I would love to know. Let's chat in the comments. Thanks so much, everyone. I wish you all a happy viewing experience, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.